Hello, everyone. Guys, we're going to look at the daily 42, these two puzzle piece assignments. I'm going to move real fast through them. You can always stop the video if you need to. All right. Again, this is number one. Guys, it's a perfect square after you factor out the common factor of 2. It's a perfect square. So again, it just looks like that. It's a perfect square, okay? These first 3 are perfect squares. Again, once you factor out the common factor, it becomes a perfect square, which factors looks like that. Again, the square root of 9 is 3. The square root of x squared is x, and they're both plus. All right, same thing. I factor out the common factor of 2. Again, you divide each of these by 2 then, and rewrite it. Now it's a perfect square. The square root of 16m squared is 4m. The square root of 9 is 3. And guys, this is one where the signs are the same, but they're both negative. All right, they're both negative. All right, starting with number 4. Guys, this is the old conjugate pair. Once you factor out the common factor here of 5, you're left with the difference between 2 squares. Remember, it's a quadratic with 2 terms. So when you factor it, it comes the conjugate pair, 1 plus, 1 minus. All right, the square root of 4r squared is 2r. The square root of 9 is 3. 1 plus, 1 minus. Okay, it's the same with this one. Factor out the common factor of 4. You get a plus minus, n and 3. All right, the square root of n squared is n. All right, this one you factor out a common factor of 2. If you're having trouble finding the common factor, look over here at the answers. It's either 4 or 2. All right, if there's a common factor, and yeah, there is. All right, because once you factor it out, again, you get the difference between 2 squares. And that factors down into the conjugate pair, the square root of each one of those terms. All right, that's the warm-up, guys. We're moving straight to the exit ticket. And this is day 42. This is the slide method. All right, I can't factor out the 3, so I got to slide it back. Okay, I got 48. Factors again, 2 and 24. All right, because the difference between them is 22. Factor it out, then you divide the slide. There's the answer. All right, number 2. Guys, number 2, you don't have to do too much here. The signs are the same. They're both plus. All right, so it's either A or B. Oops, or D. I guess those are plus. All right, look at the first one, guys. 7 times V, that's not 3. And look at the last one. 7 times V, that's not 3. It's got to be this one, guys. 3 times V, right here. 3 times V, check the back. That's the first one. Check the back. 4 times 9 is 36. Yeah. It's got to be B. Okay? Sometimes you can do it just like that. I want to show you can do it 2 ways. Not always that way. Sometimes you actually do need to go ahead and factor it, like this one. All right, slide back to 5. Again, we're practicing the slide method. So it's 280. And again, I found that it was 8 times 35. Right, because the difference between them is 27. Then divide the slide, which was 5. I ended up like that. All right, number 4, same thing. Slide back to 2. Well, there's no common factor here to take out. All right, I got 140, which is 20 times 7. That's what I found here. Added together, they were 27. These are both negative. This is the one where they're both negative. Again, where this first is negative and this second one's positive, your answer, both factors are a negative sign. Then divide the slide out. Bottom up to 2 then. Bottom up that 2. All right, number 5. Again, slide back to 4. So I got 60 here, which is 5 times 12, and the difference between those is 7. All right, I put the 5 and 12 here. Again, make sure you put the little one last, because we're putting the plus sign here first, and the signs are different. All right, you divide the slide back out, simplify here, and this one, the 4, you bottom up the 4 in front of the R. All right, take a look at this one. All right, guys, this is one again. It could be A, B, or C, given that it's 3n times 3n. The signs are the same. They're both negative. So it's got to be B. All right, number 7. Again, the first two together have to equal 10. That equals 9. That equals 9. Well, there's a 10 right there. And those equal 10. This factored out a common factor of 10. I can't take 10 out of 17. It doesn't have a common factor of 10. All right, 5 times 2 is 10. It's got to be this one. Now look at the back. 4 times 5 is 20. Yep. The signs are different. Yep, it's got to be that one. All right, number 8. All right, the signs are the same. All right, the first two have to equal 9, like this one right here. P times 9p is 9p squared. Look at the back one. 6 times 1 has to equal 6. Again, the first two equals this one. The last two equals the last term. It's the middle term that ends up added together. Two terms, two like terms added together. So it's harder to find. All right, look at P times 6, no. P times 10, no. That's the only one it can be. All right, number 9. Guys, 9 is a perfect square. All right, so just take the square root of that first thing is 3v. The square root of 4 is 2. Again, the square root of 9v squared is 3v. And just write like that. And you kind of think of it like that. The square root of 9v squared plus the square root of 4. The whole thing squared. All right, did the same with this one. I didn't do it for you. These are both negative, though. So it looks like that. There's a negative. All right, what's the square root of 4k squared? Is 2k. The square root of 25 is 5. All right. All right, number 11. Guys, 11 is the difference between two squares. All right, again, it's a quadratic with two terms. So it factors into the conjugate pair, right? The square root of 16p squared is 4p, and that goes here and here. The square root of 9 is 3. And one's a plus and one's a minus. Guys, this is always a minus, so the signs are different. All right, last one, same thing. It factors to a conjugate pair because it's the difference between two squares. The square root of 25n squared is 5n. So that goes there and there. The square root of 9, again, is 3. So it's a plus minus. All right, I think that's it. All right, guys, thanks.